Three clubs, one transfer window, and an atmosphere that smells faintly of panic and possibility. That is the story we inherit as the summer closes. Arsenal arrived at the final whistle with newspapers full of names and supporters full of hope. The signings were meant to convert promise into silverware. But the first weeks have offered only fragments of what that ambition could become. Talent announces itself in moments. A clean interception, a sudden line-breaking pass. But the hard work is quieter and slower. Repetitions in training, shared instincts on where to run, trust that turns individual quality into collective power. The worry is not whether Arsenal bought good players. The worry is whether those pieces will slot into a single machine before results start defining narratives and patience wears thin. Across the same transfer window, Nottingham Forest read like a headline about progress, reinforcements, ambition, a roster that suggests the club wants to climb. Yet the picture on paper is only half the story. When the people who make the decisions look divided, the team struggles to find a steady identity. Football is cruel to mixed messages. Players need a clear voice from above. Coaches need the trust to implement a plan without second-guessing. When that clarity blurs, the momentum that recruitment promised can evaporate, and a summer of promise becomes a winter of distractions. The real test for Forest is not whether the signings were smart, but whether the organisation can realign quickly enough for the squad to breathe and perform. West Ham's calculus was different. Quieter, more pragmatic, focused on experience and immediate fixes rather than headline shopping. That approach can pay dividends if it creates balance throughout the squad and gives the manager tools he can rely on. Early contributions from new faces have been encouraging, but the deeper question is sustainability. Will these moves support a season-long plan, or are they temporary dabs at pressure points that return when the campaign grows long and injuries arrive? Clubs that think in both now and next season tend to survive the ugly stretches that break less resilient projects. The common thread binding these three stories is timing. A transfer window is a set of Mets whose payoffs must be measured over months. Instant verdicts are plentiful and addictive. Social feeds and pundit desks crave a winner and a loser. But the more disciplined view is patient and granular. Watch minutes, not headlines. Watch understanding between teammates blossom, not just the highlights. Watch whether a coach is given clarity and the resources to enforce an identity. Those are the signals that tell us whether a summer was clever or catastrophic. That does not mean there are no consequences. Arsenal's heavy activity raises expectations and with them, pressure that can accelerate judgment. Nottingham Forest's off-field friction, if unresolved, threatens to sap the potential that new talent offers. West Ham must make sure that pragmatism is matched by a plan that can withstand a difficult run. The reality of modern football is that decisions are expensive and memory short. The clubs who survive scrutiny are those that combine smart recruitment with coherent leadership and uncompromised processes for integrating players. For the fans, the next months will be a mixture of adrenaline and anxiety. There will be nights that feel like vindication and moments that suggest fatal flaws. If you want to read this window properly, look for patterns rather than pulses. Incremental progress, repeated improvements, and the steady translation of potential into consistent performances. That measured story rarely makes for the most sensational headline, but it is the story that determines club futures. So treat the early drama for what it is, an alarm, not the final clock. There will be fireworks and flash judgments. But the real verdict will be written slowly in training sessions, in boardroom conversations, and in the small, stubborn process by which teams turn promise into results.